Hey everybody, this is Brenda with KBW Bargains and welcome back to our channel. I am going to go through all of what we sold over the weekend. I'm really happy with these numbers. On eBay we sold 14 items, on Poshmark we sold 7, and on Mercari we sold 2. But I'm happy to get sales on all 3 platforms. So if you like the what sold videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. That would really help us out. So we'll start with Mercari since we only have 2. So I sold some climbing shoes. Highly recommend finding climbing shoes. Scarpa. Well, that's how you pronounce it. Sold that for $26.25. Next is Neff Boonie hat. Sold that, it was a leopard skin. So it sold that for $14.36. Not high prices, except for the climbing shoes. I usually get about $25 to $39 for those. Those are I like to pick them up. When I see them at the Goodwill bins, they're not in the best of shape, but they sell quickly for me. People think, oh, they're not in very good condition, but they're supposed to be tight. They curl up a lot, but people like them. And the next I'll do Poshmark. We sold 7 on there. Had some great sales. So the first one we have is flannel. I think we're all doing good with flannel for the fall and winter. But I've never heard of this brand, Ridge Cut. Kevin actually found this. Tough Wear Flannel. Sold that for $20 plus shipping. Next is Terrain. That's how you pronounce it. Recycled purse, lightweight, durable, waterproof. This is made out of, and we sold that for $20 plus shipping. It's made out of recycled rice bags, if you're familiar with that. But that sold quickly. I just listed that. Next, Anthropologie Rose Pink Plaid Bucket Hat. This wasn't wool, it was actually polyester. We sold that for $27 plus shipping. I thought that was going to go quicker. Did not go real fast. I think I had that for over 6 months. Next is a Nike Portland Trailblazers leggings. Those were for $22 plus shipping, and those were new with tags. Next is a Marmot flannel shirt. Been selling great on flannel shirts. Women's size small. That really impressed me. Sold that for $18 plus shipping. And then a Buxton leather wallet. That name Buxton has always done well for me. This was a really nice wallet, but it sat too long. I took an offer of $10 plus shipping. And last item on Poshmark was Merrill Aurora 6 Ice Plus boots. These were a women's size 5. That's rather small, but they sold for $12. I took an offer of $12 plus shipping because for Merrell's, those sat too long, and I'm sure it was because of women's 5. Now, and currently what I've noticed, if I do women's 5 or a children's size, they'll sell a lot faster. All right, let me share with you on eBay. Now on eBay, I had 14 items that sold, but the last item that came through, I messed up. So I thought I would share that with you. So I had just listed this. This was a Columbia Omni Shield Capri pants, and I had them in the title and in the item specifics as a medium. But when I pulled the bag or pulled the pants out of my bin, they're in a cello pack, and on it I had large. So I double checked, and on the tag it actually said large. So I thought maybe I pulled the wrong item. So I looked in the pictures on the item, and it was a large. So I contacted the buyer, told them, sorry for the inconvenience, but this item is been mislabeled. It is a large, and then gave them options if they wanted to cancel the order. If they still wanted the order, I'd be happy to do a partial refund, but they haven't gotten back to me. But that item sold for $16.16 plus shipping. Next is a Nike Golf Tour Performance quarter zip pullover. And Nike Golf I buy all the time. It sold for $19.40 plus shipping. Next is, I just listed this item. I'm really excited because I've only found it twice, picked it up, and it had a little flaw, but I'll get to that. But it sold really quickly. It only lasted about a couple of days. Sold for $25. I originally had it listed for $29.95 plus shipping. Somebody offered me $25, and I accepted it because of the flaw. So in the description, it has 4 zippers. That's why it's called the quad zip. and one of the zippers didn't zip 2 inches from the top. That was it. But it was still sold. That also happened to the other bag that I sold, but actually they believe I got more for that one. I got close to 30. So if you see the Nike Elite Quad Zip System backpack, I've never seen it before. And the 2 that I picked up with flaws sold quickly. Next is an Eddie Bauer First Ascent. Is that a full zip? It's a jacket, full zip jacket. Sold that for $18.23 plus shipping. I sell a lot of Eddie Bauer Columbia REI fleece jackets. They go really well for me. Next is a weatherproof vintage Fair Isle sweaters for women. I saw these 2. I instantly picked one up, found the other one, and it was a done deal to bundle them up. I had them for $39.95, but they sold. Took a while. I listed them back in August, but they sold for $31.55. Perfect for the weather. Next is Ping G5 8 iron. Kevin picked up a lot of these at the bins, and he sold them individually, and they've been selling pretty consistently for us. This one sold for $29.95. No offer. They bought it for the listing. Next is Home Depot employee uniform polo shirt. I've made videos about this before. We pick up all employee apparel, whether it be hats, shirts, jackets. If it's retail or fast food, we pick them up. They sell consistently for us. This sold for $12 plus shipping. They don't sell for much, but they do sell consistently for us. Next is JBU by Jambo, and this is the model Paisley. This was like a duck boot and has rubber around the bottom. The top brown part is quilted, and it's a really nice boot, but it sat too long. That was back in February. Took an offer of $16.16 plus shipping. Oh, this is a great item. So we do a lot of outdoor wear and outdoor apparel and outdoor gear. And this is a Nemo Philo wide camping pillow, packable. But it sold instantly. We just picked that up. I just listed it like a couple of days ago. It sold for $30 plus shipping. The dimensions are big, but it folds up rather tightly into a bag that it's connected to. And so anytime you find camping, we even do sleeping bags and tents, but I've never seen a packable pillow, and that sold quickly. Next, Columbia Titanium. Love Columbia Titanium model and soft shell jacket, men's, sold for $20.21. I sell those consistently. I pick them up at the Goodwill bins. And if they have a spot or 2, I will go ahead and pick them up because people like, for some reason, the Columbia Titanium model. Next, Vera Bradley. Now, I've slowed down on Vera Bradley. It just hasn't been going as well as it used to. But this was a crossbody quilted, like a wallet. And I think that's what more people are going for travel. Sold that for $15.35 plus shipping. Next is a Cookies crossbody small bag. Again, this was $15 plus shipping. And this was an item that we became familiar with, the Cookies brand, when we were in Vegas, I believe a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Never could seen it before. It was a shirt, and when we looked up the comps, it was going for some good money. And so we went ahead and anytime we find Cookie, we pick them up, and they sell quickly. So, and this did have some of the where it said Cookies in the white was wearing off, but they still took it. Still sent me an offer. It was good enough to get. Next is a Volcom graphic t-shirt. Now, when it comes to Volcom and Vans, I try to get them with graphics. They do much better than just regular Volcom without graphics. REI also. But that sold for $12.11 plus shipping. And our last item is Columbia Thermal Coil Hybrid Jacket. It kind of had the knit on the sleeves and the soft shell on the body and hood. That sold for $14 plus shipping. I thought it was going to go a lot faster, but it did take a couple of months. So those are all that I have, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And please subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.